Can Esteban Ocon knock Daniel Ricciardo, though, out of qualifying? Ricciardo very much at risk. Ocon, the man who was his teammate at Renault last year, Alpine now. Ricciardo's moved to McLaren, hoping for better things than getting knocked out in Q1. Ocon crosses the line, does kick Daniel Ricciardo out of qualifying as the Frenchman puts his car fourth fastest.
George Russell through at the moment for Williams.
So George Russell makes it 3 out of 3 in terms of reaching Q2 in 2021. Daniel Ricciardo knocked out. 0.04 of a second was the margin. Looking at George Russell's sector times, 22.7 and a 30.3. That's going well, as has Carlos Sainz. Sixth fastest, has put his driving teammate Charles Leclerc very much at risk, as Leclerc then responds and goes sixth fastest himself. So is Gasly on the cusp, and he is through. And George Russell misses out by 5/100ths of a second for a Q3 appearance. That is a mega lap by George Russell, and once again he comes agonisingly close.
Well, they don't call him Mr. Saturday for no good reason. That's another tremendous lap time from George Russell. But at least he's got a choice of tyres then on the start. Anybody from 11 backwards can choose the tyres.
Oh, how close.
That'll be his highest start for the Williams team. Fernando Alonso knocked out, 0.4 adrift in the Alpine, whilst his teammate Esteban Ocon was in the top 4. It's Raikkonen, Tsunoda, Alonso, Giovinazzi and Russell. The 5 will not see any further participation in qualifying this afternoon. It's a 1:18.209 for Max Verstappen. I dare say not going to be enough.
No, but there's plenty of time, and it's deleted anyway for track limits at turn 4. So he's got to go again. And of course, the reason he went off wide at turn 4 is he was trying to stop it from spinning, wasn't he? So, but there's more time in Verstappen there. So he can get into the 17s with that car, as long as he stays on the track.
A 1:19.1 for Lando Norris, puts him 0.2 ahead of Charles Leclerc. Valtteri Bottas goes into provisional pole then. First man into the 1:18s in this session. Lewis Hamilton, 7 milliseconds behind his teammate Valtteri Bottas. Advantage to the Finnish side of the Mercedes garage at the moment. Provisional pole is Valtteri Bottas as Sainz goes third fastest and then is replaced by Sergio Perez. Max Verstappen yet to set a time. His lap time was deleted for exceeding track limits, so he's very much on the back foot, as are Red Bull, because it's Mercedes locking out the front row so far. Verstappen then on this, his first lap that will count as long as he stays within the track limits at 14 and 15. He's got 2 more of those corners to go, but he's not setting times that are going to look anywhere like a pole position at the moment, and he's struggling a touch through turn 14 and as well. And there's Sebastian Vettel keeping out of the way before he starts his final flying lap in this Q3 session. Verstappen then racing towards the line, didn't set a time. This time is only good enough for P3. It's where he started the last race, and it's where he's ended up now.
And Vettel there was looking for a nice slipstream down the pit straight, as well. He was hanging loose there, ready to start his lap. Of course, Verstappen could do another lap, but he won't have the battery all fully charged up. He's absolutely used everything he's got. So a disappointing quali then for Red Bull.
Sebastian Vettel, by the way, pointless after the first 2 races. Last time that happened was 2009, driving for Red Bull. Third race he won from pole. Not saying that's an omen for this afternoon, but if he's on pole, don't be surprised. So Carlos Sainz, 5th fastest overall then, and ahead of his teammate Charles Leclerc for the time being. Esteban Ocon slots into P6. Lewis Hamilton isn't making much impression on the timing charts at the moment. Valtteri Bottas looking good for a pole position, but we shall see.
Lewis really having to fight the car as well in turn 14. And then you have to wait before you can get on the throttle for good measure.
Valtteri Bottas crosses the line, doesn't improve on his provisional pole time. Hamilton to the line now. He can't improve either. It's Valtteri Bottas on pole for Mercedes here in Portimao. Bottas returning to the racetrack after a crash with George Russell last time out in Imola, has made amends in qualifying here this afternoon to put his car on pole position and give himself the best possible shot of redemption tomorrow.
Stand out for Ocon as well in 6th place for Alpine. Sainz outqualifies Leclerc at Ferrari. Both Red Bulls on the second row though. That's a decent starting place for those two tomorrow, with a long slipstream down to the first corner.
Hard work, mate.
I told you it will pay off. Yes, that's good. Thank you.
Lando Norris on row 4 starts just ahead of Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz on the third row starts just ahead of Esteban Ocon. Verstappen ahead of Perez on row 2. And the front row, well, it's a 71st front row lockout in 141 races since the start of 2014 for Mercedes. It's Valtteri Bottas, 17 career poles to tie with Sir Jackie Stewart in terms of all-time career poles. He's beaten Lewis Hamilton here this afternoon. I think that is a massive confidence boost for Valtteri Bottas.